Hello, my name is William Cuss, and I'm going to do a quick demonstration on how I make a white underbase using Photoshop. It's easy, it's a lot easier in Illustrator if you have a vector image that's created all in vector image pieces, but if you're using Photoshop, this is how I do it personally, and I've been doing this for a while, and it seems to work for me. So you have the image here. I made two copies. You're going to have the original. I had one copy of the original and then a second copy of the original. And I have them both open in Photoshop, but you can just tab between them up here. This is CS5, I believe. I know the newer CS's, it might be an earlier version of CS, I'm not sure. You can check about here. Yeah, this is CS5, but I know the newer this newer version has this thing where you can tile them right next to each other. Anyways, you have this image here. I guess the first thing you can do is save it as white underbase, just for clarity. And then you want to, whatever you want to have as the underbase, which is usually everything, you want to have everything, all the layers open. I have the layers palette. If you don't have any palettes open, open layers. Info is a good one to have open. All these other ones are just kind of unnecessary at the moment. So you have everything open. I mean, turned on, the little eyeballs next to them, and it's on. I don't know what this dark gold was. That just happens to be an extra layer. So what we're going to do is, up in the upper right corner of the layers palette, you can open this up and make sure you have one of the layers. You can't have this one that's turned off selected. You want to make sure that the sharks one is selected, or whatever layer it is. Any layer will work, just as long as it's visible. Go up to here, the layers, and select flatten image. Discard hidden layers, yeah, because you have the original and you're not using that hidden layer. Okay, flattening image took away the transparency, the checkerboard, and it created a white background. And with the white background and everything merged into one layer, see, it took all the other layers away and merged it into one here on the layers palette. You can go up to here, the top of the screen, to select, and you want to select color range. And then sometimes the fuzziness will be different things. Just make sure you copy whatever it is my settings are. Usually these are the default settings. Sample colors, fuzziness will be different. You want to put 0 fuzziness. And then before you click OK, see how this is an eyedropper? You want to click anywhere where there's white. And you see it, the eyedropper picked up the white paint. And now you want to go over to OK. And now it's selected everything that's white on this image, which is very helpful to do. Now we don't want to do anything with the white, but this makes it easy to go up here to select, and we select inverse. Inverse does exactly what it says. It inverses everything that was selected. So instead of all the white being selected, all the colors now selected, and the white is not selected. So anything I do on this image, it's only going to affect the colored part, and all the white part is being ignored. And this is pretty simple. All you have to do is go up to your edit and fill. There's a shortcut here. It says Shift F5. I actually just pressed the delete key. I don't know if that's the same on everyone's computer. And it'll say contents. What do I want to fill it with? You want to click here and change it to black if it's not already on black. Blending mode, usually best normal and 100%. And then you click OK, and hey, everything's black. And it's all. And then you use this info palette here to kind of, you mouse over, which means, you move the pointer of the mouse. You don't have to click anything. You just move the pointer of the mouse, and it will show you that it's 100% all over. And then you want to check the white too and make sure it's 0%. Now, one thing you kind of want to do, this is like a little trick. I don't want to go off too much on a tangent, but you go to image and you check the mode. And I mean, I can kind of tell it's already in CMYK because it only shows CMYK in the info palette. But if it's in RGB, now all of a sudden you have a 0. The RGB site says 0, but when you look at the CMYK right next to it over here, it's not 100%. And RGB is just for viewing on the computer screen. But when you're printing anything, the printers all read, for the most part, probably 99% of them read on CMYK. You know, when you're changing your ink, it's going to be CMYK colors. So when it prints out, it's only going to print 75%, 86%. Really, it should just be printing 100% K and 0 everything else. But to get a really dark black, it prints 100% of everything. So you want to make sure you're not in RGB and go back to CMYK. Now that we go back to CMYK, it's still stuck in the RGB colors. See how there's all these percentages here? It's not 100%. So you got to go back up here and fill it again. And then you see it's 100% across the board. And that's what you want. And now, if you want to choke it in a little bit so that the white does not bleed underneath the image so that you can't see the white around the edges. Usually what my uncle likes to do, what I do, and my uncle taught me, was to add white to the outside so that, or else when you print colors on a color t-shirt, you're not going to see the image very well because it's going to blend into the colored t-shirt. You won't see the edges. So he likes to add white so that you see an outline of white around it, and it really makes the image pop out. But some people might want to choke it in. You know, bleeding is adding white, and choking it in would be deleting it. So either one you want to do, from what I understand, we're going to just bleed it in. But if you wanted to if you wanted to add bleed, you would expand it and then fill it with black. But if you want to contract it, that's a little more tricky. To create a choke, you contract it, say contract by 3 pixels, and now you see that the marching ants, the selection, is now gone in it's contracted by 3 pixels. And then what you want to do is go back up to select and inverse it again so that now the black is not selected but the white is selected and a little bit of the black on the edges. And then this time when you fill it, you want to fill it with white. And now you've just taken off all those little edges. You've taken off 3 pixels off of the whole thing. And then you're done with choking it. And what you want to do now is select up here all. I just Command A, which is the shortcut. Select all. Edit, copy, Command C. Makes things a lot faster when you just Command A, Command C, Command V to paste. So you select everything, copied it, click over here on this tab, which opens the original, or the copy of the original. And what you want to do is you want to select the layers palette and then select new layer, call it the white underbase, and then you want to put the white underbase at the bottom. That's usually the easiest. You can also do it in this layer. This is just a shortcut to that layer part up here. And you want to go over here to edit and paste, or Command V, and that pastes it underneath. You can't see it, but if you turn off the layers above it, you'll see that it's there. And then a good way to check to make sure is you want to take the layer above the white underbase, which is this one called Sharks, and mess with the opacity. And as you turn the opacity down, it's kind of hard to see, but if you go up real close, you'll see that this part on the top is the shark layer, and the part that's showing underneath that's darker is the white underbase. So if you go all the way down to 0 opacity, you'll see that there's the white underbase, and just add a little bit of opacity, you see that this is the shark, the colored part that you'll be printing also. And then you want to make sure that you turn the opacity up to 100%, and you're pretty much done. Well, you are done. I'm not going to go into making registration marks. I'm not sure how you do your separations. So this is how I create a white underbase in Photoshop. Sorry it took a little longer than I wanted to, but I hope it has been informative. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and I could make plenty of other videos on just basic things of how I've been working at a screen printing shop for the last 10 or 20 years, doing some really simple things with Photoshop or Illustrator to create really nice looking t-shirts. Okay, thanks a lot.